It's not our duty as fans to put someone on the court who doesn't belong on the court. That doesn't make any sense. Try and guilt us into feeling bad that we aren't supporting someone who isn't a pro athlete playing pro sports. It's stupid. It's stupid. And I bet you don't support people in any other way. So stop acting virtuous as if this is about you feeling bad for a kid and trying to give him a chance. You're obedient puppets who were told to think a certain way, and therefore you did. All right, I'll take a break from my jog to add a little bit to my rant about Chuck. Maybe it was meant to be that I didn't publish it yet. But last night I watched the crowd in Vegas chanting for Bronny. Chanting for someone who flat out sucks. And some of you are saying, oh man, you're mean. You're hating. Just give the kid a chance. This isn't the Special Olympics. This isn't a charity event. This is professional NBA basketball. It's supposed to be the best of the best. It's supposed to be the best going out and trying to defeat each other. And you're supposed to want to see the best on the floor. Where was your pity energy for Quincy, who didn't get to play, even though he is good? I said in the short last night, they cheered louder for Bronny, even as he was missing, than they cheered for Dalton when he was making shots. And that's not a lie. Go watch the tape. Hey, I'm sorry, that's not okay. I mean, it was absolute crickets while that rookie was hitting his threes and making, I saw at least one layup. It's not okay, people. I mean, it's a spectacle. You know what? Here's my best argument against the people pretending that they're doing it to support Bronny because they're nice, supportive people. You're not. You're not nice people. Stop pretending that you're nice people. Like, without meeting you, the odds are that you generally aren't this merciful and kind and generous to people. It's an excuse you're using to get on board with a spectacle you were told that you should get on board with. You're not on board because you personally are the type who likes to support people in need, or who supports people that need a chance. In fact, you're proving it by crapping on other people who need the chance and are actually taking advantage of the chance by showing what they're capable of, and you're ignoring them for the sake of someone who shouldn't be there at all. But the reason it made me think about Charles Barkley was his quote that he's got a target on him, which during my night run, I said, no, that's not what we're seeing here. This is not the treatment of someone who has a target on his back. And last night proved that better than anything I could say. They were chanting for him to get into the game. They weren't chanting for Quincy to get into the game, even though Quincy saved that team against the Bucks. What's wrong? That is not the treatment of someone who has a target on their back. It is the treatment of someone who is going to receive acceptance no matter what, and probably get preferential treatment, not only on the bench and by the executives, but by the players. It's not our duty as fans to put someone on the court who doesn't belong on the court. That doesn't make any sense. Try and guilt us into feeling bad that we aren't supporting someone who isn't a pro athlete playing pro sports. It's stupid. It's stupid. And I bet you don't support people in any other way. So stop acting virtuous as if this is about you feeling bad for a kid and trying to give him a chance. You're obedient puppets who were told to think a certain way, and therefore you did. All that talk about developing people, all that talk about developing young players. And while the Lakers are getting blown out, they can't give Quincy any minutes. They don't give a shit about developing him. I tell you what, when he gets let go, if and when he gets let go, you know JJ Redick's going to have his condescending speech with his arrogant tone, with a carefully written bit of words to explain it all away. Unfortunately, all of these people provide us empty words all the time. It's all BS. Send Quincy up to the Warriors. We like collecting short people. I'm jogging home and I'm listening to people. Ticket TV came on again, and he's calling out the people. He's calling out the players that keep their mouths shut. They're soft. They have no morals, no ethics. He's calling out the people, commenting, saying that he's a hater for telling the truth. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Virtue signaling. These people pretending on their keyboards that they do anything good in their own lives, like they have any room to talk about what's right and wrong. Stop it. How can I guarantee it without knowing who these people are and providing evidence? But I tell you what, I'm willing to put money down. All these people pretending like they care about Bronny James don't care about anybody but themselves. You're LeBron people. Your role model only cares about himself. You like a man who shows us on a daily basis that all he cares about is himself. That tells me everything I need to know about you. You people that bring up Thanasis, you're exactly what I'm talking about when I say you're obedient robots. You didn't bother to look it up. You didn't bother to learn anything about it before you repeated it. You heard some LeBron media personality talk about it, and you went to the internet and started repasting it. You didn't bother to look up the true story about how Thanasis got in, the circumstances. Did you? You obedient robots. I'm going to have another video's worth of content instead of just adding on to the one I didn't release. What are people's opinions about Steph Curry playing during a blowout? You know, a piece of me said, you know what, maybe it's a good time for the other players on the team to experience what it's like to have Steph Curry out there with him. You know, there's an excuse for it. But it's also very suspicious. You know, is it really about just having him on the floor with Bronny? I'm doing another one of these late night jogging rants, and I know I haven't published any of them, maybe one. I gotta go home and find all of them and publish them. I tend to be more upset by people I have some expectations for. There's plenty of stupid LeBron people out there. So let's talk about Barkley. And unfortunately, I'm not particularly surprised. Barkley's shown signs that he's going that direction. You know, last season, he had a smart-ass remark about, you know, things are pretty bad when you got to compliment the guy for making a layup. And the rest of the panel, you could tell they were uncomfortable. Like, oh shit, dude, you can't make fun of LeBron James and the overhyping of the NBA. But anyway, I very clearly remember that part because it was the only part of the broadcast that seemed very honest. And I didn't hear much from Barkley after that in terms of anything that could even come close to criticism. And I was working on part 2 of my Draymond Green hate. It's probably my 5th video on Draymond Green, but a follow-up to how he destroyed the Warriors franchise. And the video I came across was a conversation between him and Draymond, Barkley and Draymond, and Barkley's just letting Draymond get away with all of his victimhood bullshit and excusing away all of his behavior. That was a warning sign. And look, you basically aren't allowed to be in the NBA at this point, anywhere inside of the industry, if you're going to say anything negative about LeBron James or his clan. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm out here underneath the night sky and wondering if a LeBron James satellite is going to target me and shoot my ass for talking about him. And this article starts by saying, you know, people need to be sensitive and careful with the highly anticipated new NBA player, Bronny James, who has such lofty expectations upon him. He was not highly anticipated, and no one had lofty expectations for him. The hype was all about the fact that he shouldn't be in the NBA. That was all of it. Absolutely everything out of Bronny James has told us that you shouldn't have any expectations, and if anything good happens, you should be surprised, and it will be just nice for him, nice for anybody that wants anything good to happen there. But just opening the article up with dishonesty, because it wasn't highly anticipated, and there aren't any lofty expectations of him. How can you have expectations of someone that almost every NBA exec said he is not ready? Surprise, yes. If he actually turns things around and shows that he's capable of something, that would be surprise. That's not fulfilling an expectation. Kind of reminds me of LeBron's self-pity sob story about when he came out, last year? Like every year this guy's crying. Last year, LeBron came through with another sob story trying to say that everybody wanted him to fail. Really, then why were there all these expectations? Because you've certainly acknowledged that everyone expected you to be great. You certainly bought into it. You didn't have any problem with it. You were all aboard with it. Everybody said you were going to be great. Don't pretend that people wanted you to fail when everybody was like, wow, this is going to be good. That's not what the sound of people wanting you to fail sounds like. But that is what the sound of expectations sounds like. Big difference. Big difference between LeBron coming in. As much as I don't like him, there were expectations. People expected him to be great. Who expected Bronny to be great based on watching him play? So you see how much time I wasted just clarifying the sneakiness of dishonest journalism. Very, very subtly trying to sway your way of thinking into believing that Bronny James was expected to be great. And now that he's not, we need to be gentle. So Barkley says, you got to handle this with kid gloves. He's still developing. He's a work in progress. I'm just happy he's healthy, and we're all rooting for him out of respect for LeBron James. That's kind of a weird statement. You're not rooting for him because of your expectations, because you were excited to see him come into the league. You're rooting for him because of his dad. I mean, even when people are trying to give a compliment, the truth kind of comes out in its own way. Kid gloves. Why on earth? Why on earth would you say that you need to handle this with kid gloves? Do you think that Barkley got handled with kid gloves? We all know the good old stories that the old players tell about their initiation into the NBA. we wouldn't have those fun stories about Dominique and Bird going at each other and the trial by fire stories that we enjoy. I bet you even LeBron age people enjoy those stories. We wouldn't have those if you do all this handling with care bullshit. Which brings me to the next point. Barkley said he's got a target on him. I don't think so. He should. It makes sense. Traditionally, this would be a reason to have a target on you. Today, with this sensitive ass NBA and everyone scared to death of the LeBron James Mafia, there's no target. If anything, people are gonna get out of Bronny's way. Old school, we go back to the Nick Bird type talk. Somebody's overhyped. Somebody's overhyped, and the guys are gonna smell blood, and they're gonna try and fucking dunk right on that motherfucker right away. And I think even when people have an opportunity to dunk on Bronny, God, I hope I'm wrong, I think that they'll hold up. I think they'll pull back. That's crazy talk. I hope I'm wrong. Man, I hope I'm wrong on that one. But a piece of me thinks this is going to be the opposite of what someone who's targeted looks like. And you should, I mean, listen to this article. You think this article is only telling the fans to handle this with kid gloves? I mean, it's kind of a message going out to everybody. Don't discourage the young man. Don't be too hard on him. After all, it's his first day in kindergarten and he's just learning how to dribble. Oh, wait, no. He's a instant millionaire in the NBA. Handle him with kid gloves. He's still developing. It's a work in progress. How many people? It doesn't make any sense. We're not sure what we're going to get out of him. So let's give him a guaranteed 4-year, $8 million contract. Doesn't that come after somebody's shown you something good? Don't you develop people that you aren't paying and see if they'll be worth paying later? Oh, man. Barkley saying that it's a great story because of the father-son thing made me realize that we've had things in the NBA such as a coach and his son, Doc and Austin. We've had two brothers. We've had brothers in here multiple times. We've had twin brothers in the NBA. All of these things, if somebody wanted to blow it up, could put a little effort, just sit down in the marketing meeting room, in the propaganda room, decide how much you're going to spend and how many people you're going to assign to the propaganda machine, and get people to think, oh, wow, Steph and his brother are both in the playoffs at the same time. And look, his parents are in the stands at the same time. And look, when the game was happening, they did point it out. And then they moved on, like really quickly. There wasn't this ongoing, holy shit, we've never seen anything like it. When I heard the comment, we need to be patient with him, I immediately thought of the undrafted guys and the G League guys, even some drafted guys that are in danger of being cut. Some already have been. And I tried getting the numbers while I was out here in the middle of my jog. Obviously, I'm not jogging. I'm going at Brian Windhorse speed right now. I didn't find the numbers. If you guys want to provide any information that you have off the top of your head in the comments for everyone else, that would be cool. But whatever those numbers are, it's coming. And a lot of people are going to get cut that are better than Bronny. Well, it's actually impossible for that not to be true because Bronny's the worst. That's not an opinion. He is ranked dead last. When I joked about making history with having a dog on the court, say AOH and dog AOH take the court together, the only thing my dog would have to do is be better than one person to not be last, to not be as bad as Bronny. With the whole target thing, him being targeted, I forgot all about LeBron James's comments last season saying that he's better than some people in the NBA right now and he could play for the Lakers right now. Jeez Louise. Why isn't anyone calling out LeBron James for being the person with the paintbrush that painted the target? Now, I think people are going to actually be nicer to Bronny than Bronny deserves. And when I say Bronny deserves, I mean than what his dad tried to bring down upon him, that his dad deserves. His dad deserves some serious retribution. His dad basically begged for his son to be punished and targeted with his mouth that he can't keep closed. This idiot, this insecure child that his mindless followers in some fantasy world say he's humble and a great father and a great leader and a great role model. Not in any way, shape, or form is any of that true. Speaking of LeBron's mouth, the Bronny thing reminds me of the double standards of LeBron's mouth with people like Rich Paul and all of LeBron's media grunts saying, you know, people love to tear this guy down, blah, blah, blah. The guy can't keep his mouth shut. The guy has said some of the most historically stupid things I've ever heard. And then there's a whole category of his historically distasteful things, his historically insecure things. And it's always coming out of his mouth or coming out of his Twitter feed or being said on his many propaganda shows. And they turn around and they say, oh, don't criticize LeBron James, which basically means the guy can mouth off and be stupid and be a jackass and deserve criticism more than anyone has ever deserved criticism, and you aren't allowed to criticize him. Just get out of the way. The way that you have to get out of the way when he's going down for another one of his steroid layups. Just let him do what he wants. No criticism allowed. No resistance. And here we have Bronny, and they've promoted the hell out of him. The guy ties his shoe correctly, and it's like, oh my God. The guy makes a layup. Oh, LeBron's son is a pro. Look, he just proved everyone wrong. And for people who didn't know, for people who aren't aware of the whole LeBron thing and who got sucked into the NBA because of the promotion of the father-son thing and the promotion of Bronny, and they finally watch a game because of the promo, because of all the work, all the money, all the effort spent to try and get people to know who he is. When they look and are confused because the guy isn't good, are they allowed to express their surprise and confusion? Wow, this guy that you were talking about sucks. I don't understand. What the hell's going on here? Oh, you're a hater. Well, I don't know how long that was, but it feels like it was too long. All right, that's the end. Thanks for listening.